Last lesson in this unit I want to talk to you about is the division properties of exponents. And the rule is if you have a raised to a power divided by the same base, a raised to another power, what it equals is a m minus n. So this time we're going to be subtracting the exponents, and division and subtracting go together. So the steps for this are to subtract the exponents and then simplify. So there's a little trick to this. I'm gonna show you this tomorrow, but I like to think of this as kind of like who wins. All right? Find the difference, and difference means subtract. So find the difference between the numbers. Whoever has the greatest number wins the answer in their spot. Okay? So examples here. If I've got a to the 7th power divided by a to the 3rd power, I want to write it out. I want to show you what it means. It means I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a's being multiplied all over 1, 2, 3 a's. Well, a divided by a is 1. A divided by a is 1. A divided by a is 1. So if you look, I'm left with a times a times a times a, which is a to the 4th, and there's nothing on the bottom, nothing but 1. Excuse me. But we don't use that over 1 because anything divided by 1 is that original number. So it's a to the 4th. This is where the subtraction comes in. If you look at your exponents, 7 minus 3 will give you 4. So it's the same thing for number 2. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 w's all over 2 w's. These are going to cancel out and just leaves you with 3 w's on top. So I've got w cubed. Now what I was talking about with like the who wins, if you look, 7 and 3, 7 is the bigger number, so it's going to be on top. If you look, we didn't put it on the bottom, we put it on top. It's the same thing. 5 is the bigger number, we put it on top in the numerator's spot, not in the denominator spot. Number 3 is different. Look at it. 3 and 9. Who's bigger? Who's going to win? The 9's bigger. The 9 is going to win, so where do you think our answer is going to go? If we write it out, let's see, v, 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 all over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These cancel out and leaves us with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 v's on the bottom. All right, but we can't just ignore the numerator. We've got to put 1 over v to the 6th. Now look at this. We still subtracted. We still took 3 minus 9 and gave us a negative 6. So that would have given us a v to the negative 6, which what we learned in our first lesson is actually 1 over v to the 6th. Now, instead of doing all this work, all right, you could simply write it out or go with that trick, who wins. 9 is bigger, so our answer is going to go on the bottom. The difference between 3 and 9 is 6, goes on the bottom. We're going to play around with this a lot more tomorrow. Alright, so scientific notation. The steps, divide the factors. Divide that a. Alright, whatever's being multiplied by the 10, divide those numbers. And subtract the exponents. Alright, same thing. Raising a quotient to a positive power. So here's your rule. We've got different ones for positive and negative powers. If you've got a divided by b, it's being raised to a positive n. Look what happens. That n went on the a and on the b. It kind of got split. Alright? So your steps, raise both the numerator and the denominator to that power. And then finally, simplify when necessary. Alright, so if we look at some examples here, if we have 3 fourths to the 7th power, we're going to change that. Oh, hang on a second. We're going to change that, and it's going to be 3 to the 7th over 4 to the 7th. Right? Now it's the same thing with the second example. But this time we're going to have a squared to the 3rd power all over a to the 4th power to the 3rd power. Now the simplifying part, if you remember our rules, when we have a power raised to a power, we multiply that. So that's actually going to be a to the 6th all over a to the 12th. Now we can divide that out. Our bigger number 12 is on the bottom, so it's going to win on the bottom. The difference between 6 and 12 is 6. I'm going to put that with a 1. Don't worry if you didn't get that now. Just wanted to show you an example of what I was talking about. We're going to do stuff like this tomorrow. Now I want to show you what happens when you raise a quotient to a negative power. We've got that same fraction, that AB, but this time it's being raised to a negative n. Alright? What we need to do is, you got to remember way back at the start here, we can't have negative exponents. We got to only use positive exponents. And to do that, we are switching it to the reciprocal. So the numerator goes to the denominator goes to the numerator. We are flipping it. Alright? Now it's b to the a. Because we did the reciprocal, now it's a positive n. And then we can put the n on both the b and the a. Alright? A little more involved. So, first step, change the negative exponent to a positive by writing the reciprocal fraction. And then raise the numerator and the denominator to that power. And then finally, simplify. Again, I want to do an example here. Alright? I've got 5/8 to the negative 9. I cannot have a negative exponent. So I'm going to get rid of the negative exponent by doing the reciprocal. So now I've done the reciprocal. So now that's going to be 8 to the 9th power all over 5 to the 9th power. And then I would simplify from there. Not worried about that right now. Same thing. A squared over a to the 7th to the negative 3rd. Cannot have that negative power. So the very first thing is flip it. Do the reciprocal. It's going to be a to the 7th over a squared. By changing to the reciprocal, I now have a positive exponent instead of a negative. And now, a to the 7th power times 3, raised to the 3rd power, all over a squared raised to the 3rd power. And again, a power to a power, multiply. So it's going to be a to the 21st all over a to the 6th. Now it looks like that quotient, the easy ones we started with at the very start here. So what's the difference between 21 and 6? All right, 15, who's bigger, who's going to win? That 21 is going to win, so my answer is going to be on top. It's going to actually be a to the 15th. Again, if you didn't get this right here, not a big deal. We're going to go over these and over these and over these tomorrow. It's tricky and they can get confusing very fast. All right, we'll work on it tomorrow.